everybody, and welcome back to our continuing coverage of the GAMA Trade Show 2017. I'm Zee Garcia. I am here with Ryan from Passport Game Studios, and we're going to be taking a look at a follow-up to Kingsport Festival, a game that you guys put out. It was a much bigger box, a standard square-sized box. And it's a card game. It's a much smaller-sized card game.
That's right.
Using that same Cthulhu-y goodness theme.
Right. So the Kingsport Festival, the card game. So, as you said, a compressed kind of iteration on the board game from a few years ago. So, if you're familiar, which I know you're a big Cthulhu fan, you're probably familiar with Kingsport Festival and kind of the concepts there. So with this one, it takes kind of some of the core theme and just twists it around and does something really kind of unique. It's a little different than the board game, but has some familiarities to it as well.
Cool.
With this, you're playing as a cultist, and you are trying to, bring death and destruction and all the things you do as a cultist and follower of the great old ones.
That's right. Like we do.
Like you do, exactly. So everyone starts the game with a sanity die. It comes with 5 sanity dice and 5 of these little gray dice that are going to give you resources to spend. It comes with 1 time die that allows you to track the rounds over the course of the game. Everyone starts with a set number of sanity, and of course, if you run out of sanity, that's bad, as is traditionally the case in these Lovecraftian worlds. You will be using these dice to generate resources. You're going to have the ability to get evil as a resource, death as a resource, and destruction as a resource. You generate those things, and as you get more evil, death, and destruction in your life, the more you're going to be able to invoke the powers of these elder gods here on the table. So there's this big pool of cards. It looks almost Dominion-esque with all these different piles of cards, but it's not a deck builder per se. Instead, you are just simply adding the stuff to your hand, and then every round you'll be able to use the powers of these elder gods that you've built. So it has kind of an engine-building feel of starting with just one small little die. You're a measly little cultist, but you're thriving to become stronger. And so as I generate this resource here, I can spend it on one of these, for example, and I can recruit a Night Gaunt or invoke a Night Gaunt, and it's now going to add into my pool. And we go around in each round, you're going to now be able to roll a die, and then this says I can play it to receive 1 new domain die, which are these guys with the result of death. So it's going to give me
so that one comes in locked in on death.
So now I have these 2 resources, and I can spend them to graduate up and build up and up and up as you go to get more and more powerful elder gods. But it's not always just that simple. In addition to getting your elder gods, you have to worry about the fact that there are investigators who are going to perform these raids and try to thwart your efforts. So every game, the game comes with 14 different investigators, and every game you play with one of them. So there's a lot of replayability and different effects and things you're going to be worrying about. For example, here we have Randolph Carter. If we were playing with him, it says at the end of each round, raise the sanity of all cultists equal to the cultist with the highest sanity. So everyone's sanity stays a little stronger, so that one's actually kind of beneficial for you. But down at the bottom, it's also going to tell you which round you're going to encounter him raiding you. So in this case, we've got rounds 3, 5, and 7, and the gun symbols at the top tell you how effective he's going to be at raiding you. And you're going to have to utilize the strength of your Elder God cards to try to counter that. And not all of the Elder Gods have strength contributed towards that. So it's going to affect in those rounds how many of the gods you want to actually use for extra domain dice and extra resources, as opposed to hold them back defensively to handle this. Because every damage you take in the form of sanity, and again, if you run out of sanity, then you start actually losing the elder gods that you've already invoked. So you can start losing cards and points. So
these cards, as you play them from your hand, at the end of that round, you pick them all back up?
Yeah, you recollect anything that you've played, and each round you have a bigger and bigger hand as you go.
Sort of hand building, if you will.
Yeah, kind of hand building, sure. So the game will end in a couple different ways. Either the round timer will go all the way around, and there's a total of 9 rounds that you'll play, or one of the topmost elder gods is Azathoth. And if someone invokes this at the end of that round, then the game ends immediately. So someone can get 4 destruction resources, which is the rarest on the dice. The distribution of symbols is a little skewed on these dice. So you have a lot of evil, which is the little purple tentacle. You have a couple death symbols, which are the skulls, and you have only 1 destruction, which is the fire. And so getting 4 of those in a single turn is going to require you to either roll really well with multiple dice if you have earned extra dice, or use different powers to generate that.
Gotcha.
So the catch on that is that a lot of these things that will give you the specific symbols that you want are going to also cost you sanity. So as you try to build up to that, there's this kind of management of your sanity and what resources you can
Gotcha.
spend.
And so at the end of the game, once the end game is triggered, are we counting these right here?
Yep.
That's
the little stars you got there. Pretty iconic in the Cthulhu universe as well.
Yeah,
of
elder
course.
signs,
Yeah,
man.
those
So
elder
most
signs,
elder
yep.
signs, and
most elder
that's the
signs
winner.
is your victory points, and that's it. So
So when is this available?
this is available now.
Okay.
Yeah, this came out on February 10th. It's $25 MSRP, so it's in stores now. And if it's not, then talk to your store owner or your,
That's right.
there you go, and they can get it for you. So available now. It plays 3 to 5 players. Plays in about a half hour. So nice, quick, light, portable game with a really fun, creepy, dark, Cthulhu-y
It is
theme.
certainly very creepy and very dark. Yes.
Yeah, the art is amazing. I love how they made these guys look.
Now you got something else with very pretty art, but not as creepy.
Not as creepy.
take a look at
so
that.
let's scoop this really quick, and we'll get this other one going. We have this very cool game called They Who Were 8. This one also just released actually last week. What is today's Tuesday? It was Friday, so it's only been a few days.
Okay.
This is a really interesting, unique game for 2 to 4 players that we kind of call, it's kind of semi-cooperative. It's kind of something Scott Morris likes to call co-competitive, in that you will,
Co-competitive,
yeah, it's
okay.
a term that he's fond of. What we do here is everyone is out for themselves, but you have to kind of lean on your neighbors in order to get yourself into a winning position.
Okay.
To put it simply. So the way it works is there's actually a couple different ways to play. First of all, there's a standard mode, which is for 2 to 4 players, where everyone's out for themselves. There's also a team mode for 4 players, where it's 2 versus 2, and you're teamed up with your opposite, sitting across from each other.
Sure. Right.
The game comes with these 9 different god tiles. There are 9 just for the sake of some variance, but every game, with a full 4-player game, you're going to have 8 of these gods that are in play.
Okay.
And what will happen is each player gets 2 god tiles, and they set one to their left, and they set one to their right. And so then you would do the same. You would have one on this side of you, one on that side of you.
Mm-hmm.
The player over here would have one over there and one over there. And then anything that's not being played, we would remove. We have a deck of cards in the middle. Everyone gets 3 action cards into their hand.
Okay.
And the way this works is that you are trying to kind of weave a story, so to speak. This is a very interesting little theming around some poetry that was written several years ago from the designer, which is really, really neat, but it doesn't make or break your immersion or ability to enjoy the game, but it's just some cool history. But anyway, you're weaving this kind of tale about your gods, and you're trying to make it so that they have the most glory, which are these little gold beads. But over the course of the game, you're also going to generate infamy for your gods, which are these black ones. The glory is worth 2 points towards your god at the end of the game. The infamy is worth -1.
Okay.
For you to be in a winning position, your pair with one of your 2 neighbors has to be the pair that has the greatest sum, the highest communal score. So if we had something like this, and you had that, and I had this, and over here I had something like this with this guy, say there was just nothing over there, we have 4 points there minus the 2 combined for a total of 2 points between us here. Whereas over here we have 4 points only with 1, so 3 points. So that would mean that me or the player on my right would be in the running to win.
Okay.
The way we determine who the actual winner is the player whose individual god in that pairing has the least amount of glory.
Okay.
So you're trying to get points on your stuff, you and your neighbor's stuff. You and I are working together to try to put glory over here, but you're trying to put as much as possible on my god, and I'm trying to put as much as possible on your god, because we want one of us to win. We want this pair to win.
I want the one that's the selfless one.
That's exactly right. Yep. That's exactly right. So the way the game actually plays out and the way you generate this stuff is with your 3 action cards you have in your hand. Every turn you play one of your cards, and then you're going to pass one of the remaining cards to the player on your left.
Okay.
After the end of the round, everyone draws back up to 3, and play continues in that fashion. Every card that gets played is going to get shuffled back into the deck every round as well. So it's not a play through all the actions and get them back. So there's a potential to see the same actions multiple times over the course of the game. But yeah, that little passing mechanism is very interesting, and how you can kind of dictate what powers your neighbors might have access to. All the cards, as you can probably see here on camera, have some just really gorgeous art and some very minimalist style iconography that tell you kind of what they do, whether they move glory or infamy around, whether they generate new stuff, whether they remove stuff. And all but 1 or 2 of the action cards in the deck are only going to influence other people's god cards. So you can't ever just simply, not never, but rarely can you ever just like put infamy on your own, or just start removing glory from your own in order to put yourself in that winning position. You always are trying to help your buddy, help your neighbors win, but not quite enough that you don't win. That's that's the interesting balancing act here.
Okay.
So, yeah, like I said, 2 to 4 players, where everyone's out for themselves, and it plays in the fashion we just described. The team game, instead of having the left and right pairings, you just have your 2 gods in front of you, and you're playing the same mechanisms. You're playing the same gameplay with the actions, but it's just a sum of my stuff and my teammate across from me and their stuff. So you're just trying to have the highest score. So it takes away some of that highest, but also be the lowest thing. So it's a little more streamlined there, as opposed to the 2 to 4 player mode. So,
okay. Yeah. And what's the MSRP on this one?
$25 on this one as well.
Okay.
So
available now also.
Available now. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
very cool.
Designer Todd Sanders. This one was around a few years ago. It was available as a print and play for a long time, but this is the first time it's been available as a full retail product with nice production and whatnot.
Yeah. Nice big cards. They are real high quality linen finish on these.
Sure. Yeah, the god tiles are all nice cardboard punch outs, so they're nice and heavy duty. You get these nice beads, so yeah, really nice production.
Excellent.
Super excited for this one.
Excellent. Anything else you got coming up that you want to share with us?
I can talk a little about our newest game that we've announced that we're doing with FunForge. Our model with Passport, for those that are not familiar, is working with a lot of international publishers and being the passport, if you will, for their games to come to the U.S. Clever, right?
Got it.
Yeah.
Now it all makes sense.
It, right? We do some of our own stuff as well, but a lot of our line is stuff with international publishers. So FunForge, being one of our premier publishers, they've announced a new one that we're going to be doing with them called Professor Evil and the Citadel of Time. It's a new, fully cooperative game that we're looking at having out later this year, probably summertime-ish. We're still locking down all the logistics on that, but that's one that is going to be really, really exciting. You can check out our social media at Passport Games on Facebook and on our Twitter at Passport Game Studios, as well as FunForge's pages, and there's some fun concept art that you can look at now.
Yeah, I saw some of that. It looks really, really beautiful, actually.
Yeah, really, really nice. I'm excited to get more of that in front of people. So, but yeah, that's about as much as we have to say about it right now. Is it's a new co-op coming with us and FunForge.
Very cool.
Yeah, you can check it out online. Check it out on BGG. There's a page for it now with some of that concept art as well. So
yeah, great, man. Good talking to you.
Yeah,
appreciate
you as well.
it. Thank you
for having us.
Thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll see you real soon.